Hi, Dare fam. Welcome back to another episode. On today's episode, we have a special guest, the one, the only, Casper. He is joining us today as my best friend's fiance and the honorary shit talker of the day. Casper, on a scale of 1 to holy fucking shit, how nervous are you for this podcast?
Well, I was pretty nervous. And I mean, not to mention, I have a pink microphone. So, this is going to go good.
Yeah, it's going to be
gonna
fine. It's going to be totally fine. Casper was nice enough to bring us some mimosa mix, and we tested that out, even though he got the wrong orange juice. But that's totally fine. Totally fine. So the big wedding is coming up soon. Yeah. Less than a month away.
It's very close.
Very close. Very close. What is stressing you guys out the most so far?
Well, I think the biggest thing stressing, we're both stressed out in our own ways, but I can tell you one thing. When it comes down to it, I think it's putting everything together piece by piece. I think that's what stresses you out the most. Mm-hmm. I think both of us are on the same page. We're not stressing about one specific thing. It's just trying to piece it together.
You're stressing about the day coming up in general, making sure everything stays in place and nothing comes up that's going to ruin something.
Exactly.
Yes.
Something like that. And I think that's the biggest stressor of it all, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can kind of imagine while you're married too, so you understand the whole scenario, right? You got to piece things together the proper way, and if you don't, it takes you out a little bit because you go, this is our day, you want to make sure it's the way you wanted it, and so that's what
I think we are very bad examples to compare because our wedding. Our wedding was so short and just thrown together
but that's
1
okay.
week.
That's okay. That is a way to be because then you don't have to worry and stress too much about it. You still have the stressors though.
That was our goal, but it was more of a financial issue.
Fair.
We wanted to get it done because we were engaged for so long,
yeah.
But then we thought about all the pricing and stuff and we're like, we're just like, fuck this. Nope, we need to go cheap. We weren't even going to invite anybody. You guys remember? Just you and Shelby. That was it.
It was a good, short and sweet wedding, which made it all because, that's really what it's all about. It's just the both of you,
I think the most surprising part was afterwards when we went to the hotel for our honeymoon, in quotations. The funniest part was we spent one night alone and decided to go pick the kids up. We could have had a kid-free whole weekend, and we're like, no, we got to go get them.
Yeah.
That was horrible. Bad decision. They had fun, whatever. It was fun.
Well, they had the pool, so I can understand that, listen to your past podcast, and you explained all of that. Which, and it puts a lot into detail that, the kids, obviously, when you have kids, you get to that point where you go, they're your life. So, and I mean, at one point in time, we will get there. But, I don't have kids yet, but I can only imagine. I know what you guys are like as parents. So,
Well, you guys are around just as much, too. Like, our kids are kind of like your guys' kids. We kind of all co-parent, let's just say.
Yeah. No, they're great.
So, obviously, you're marrying my best friend. Okay. So, we obviously knew each other before you guys got together, but we didn't talk or anything. We just knew of each other.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, when she brought you to come see us for the first time, what was your first impression of Michelle, the best friend?
Well, because I heard about you so much before, and the thing is like me and Shelby, she was with me all the time at that point. So learning who you were through her was kind of, I didn't really have any bad or good impressions. I just knew who you were, and I could tell what type of friend you were. I could understand that, you were always there for her, and it's like, don't step on the wrong toes or something, and that's good. I think that that's what she needs in her life, so, but the impression really was, well, first I was nervous because I didn't know what to think, and I was like, oh no, are they gonna like me, or is this gonna pan out the way it should?
Yeah.
Then it turned out to be, well, we're all best friends, and it all kind of fits.
You were nervous at first, which you should have been.
Yes, and that's right, and that's what I said too. I was like, I'm nervous, and it's like, I have good reason to be. So
me, Shelby, and Brandon, we were always really close to begin with. Like, Shelby kind of went through everything with us. I remember when I first had Owen, she would come up all the time, and she would always like, wake up with them through the night and stuff to make sure I got sleep. And she basically somewhat lived with us. Like if she was going home, it was for a day or two, and she was right back up.
Yeah.
So I could see you being nervous too, especially because of how close like us three were. And Brandon's a really hard person to read. Like he usually just hates everybody. So yeah. But no, it all worked out really good. We all have a really good time when we go out. We always, like I said in my last podcast, last minute decisions all the fucking time. Yeah. All the time.
And that's what makes the best memories, I find, is we're so last minute and we go, well, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, and it's a spur of the moment. Like we're thinking we're gonna go home and I'll just be bored and go to sleep, and nope, we're going to the fucking bar. And yeah, it's a great time. Great time. I don't think I had any really bad impressions or first impressions or anything about you. To be honest, we were kind of nervous too because, well, we all know Shelby. Like she isn't a relationship person. She's never been in a relationship. You are her first person that she's actually called her boyfriend. So that was like really weird when she messaged me and was like, "Hey, I'm dating someone." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I had no idea. So, as her best friend, I thought like, "Oh great, who is this?" Like, I just thought, with Shelby, because I figured she'd get so close with her first boyfriend. I figured it'd end in disaster and blah, blah, blah. Then she was nervous to bring you over anyways. So we said, like, come on, just bring him over. Like, let's meet him. And yeah, I think things went great. I think we all got along really good. We all started chatting. It was great. Me and you, we just like to chat in general. So it works out great.
Yeah, it's great that way.
It's perfect. And, there's so many similarities between me and you. And there's so many similarities between Shelby and Brandon. So, like, they're both aggressive ass drivers and like make sure nobody passes them. And,
she likes to play the fight game.
Yeah, exactly.
With the next person, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of works out our friend group because, like, for example, at the bar, me and you wanted to go dance and chill and dance where we went. Well, they sat and played pool together. Like, it kind of worked out great. Yeah. And, it's nice because on my last podcast, I had mentioned how when we go out, it's the four of us. So we always are doubled up. Like, no matter what, we always have at least one person with us that's comfortable and safe. Like, don't have to worry about those scary horror shows where people get abducted and, like,
Yeah, and that's and being where we were, who knows what could happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, I like to be like that, especially with close friends, like. And like I said, we've become such close friends, and we now are able to, all right, so you guys do this, we'll do that, because we can split it up. It's nice. Exactly. It's really comfortable, We're not total opposites. None of us are. We all have something in common.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes it fun. It makes it comfortable. We all like the same thing. We all get like uncomfortable and stuff at the same thing. So it works out. We're not worried about what the other person's going to do, except for when Brandon gets embarrassing in stores. Like he is just so blunt and like, oh my god, it's horrible. It's horrible. So to deep dive a little bit, we are going to use a fake name for this other person. We are going to use, what kind of name do you want to use? Just think of any name.
Oh, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. You can't put a name on it.
We're just going to call her Karen. Okay. Sure. Yeah,
that kind
of
fits.
Yeah,
that's a work in progress.
So obviously, this is not your first marriage. Okay, this is your second marriage. Let's deep dive into that a little bit. So obviously, like, how long were you and Karen together?
Well, that's a good question, because I'll tell you, it was ever since grade 10, and and just to picture that, when you're that young, you think you got it all right. Mm-hmm. And you think that you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And nobody can tell you different. Mm-hmm. So
you think your life's together.
Yeah, everything was good. We were happy, whatever happy was then, Mm-hmm. So grade 10, that's when it all started. And our relationship was probably, it was hitting the 8-year mark. It was hitting the 8-year mark. We were really close to that. So, but between all of that, it was off and on and off and on. So I couldn't really piece it all together. So realistically, probably only about 7.
Yeah.
Because there's a year of missed, one time she doesn't want this or whatever. So anyway, that's how long we were together for.
Okay.
Now marriage was only for a year.
Yes.
So,
okay.
Yes.
That
you have a better image.
Kind of brings me to my next question. So, how did you and Shelby, like, obviously, I'm gonna let you explain it actually. So obviously you and Karen were married, okay? Oh, my fucking cat. Okay. Anyways, you and Karen were married. So how did you and Shelby come about? How did that all happen?
Well, see, Karen and Shelby were good friends. I think on Karen's part, she thought that, you know. So
Okay.
I don't know if Shelby was the same. I'm not too sure. But what I know is that they were good friends ever since, you know, high school.
Mm-hmm.
So they continued to hang out. And personally, I really didn't know what to think about Shelby. She was very a hard one to crack, to
She's very hard to
understand.
read.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at
She's not your
first,
typical woman.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
at first I went, oh, well, I don't really think that, you know, she's going to be my friend. I think it's just going to be Karen's friend, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of years went past and she was still talking to Shelby. So what it's hard to say because realistically like I can't hide the real truth because I didn't like Shelby. I never did because I
Okay.
didn't
Yeah.
really get the vibe off her that she wanted, you know, a friendship with me. We
Yes.
always just kind of fought with each other, kind of thing. You know, something that I didn't like her doing at my house or something stupid. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I always picked on her, and I
Isn't that
think
how it starts? They tell you that in middle school, Casper. If
yeah,
someone picks on you, if a boy picks on you, it's because they like you.
yeah,
Okay.
and looking back at that, I go, oh my gosh, these were the signs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So to further on that journey, we ended up becoming really close because she was always at my house
Yes.
visiting with Karen. And so
Fucking Karen.
right? So I started to like Shelby because she was always around and she was always kind of if you needed something, she was always there to help, you know? She wasn't just a fly-by friend that doesn't do anything for you,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So what had happened was I ran into a lot of medical issues.
Okay.
I ended up having seizures and I lost my license. And I thought to myself, shoot, what am I going to do? I can't drive to work.
Mm-hmm.
I have to work.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Now, did Karen work, or was she just not a
okay.
driver,
So
or like?
that is a whole nother book to open because
Okay.
she didn't do anything.
Okay.
She sat at home, did nothing. She was not your typical um
Picture perfect housewife.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, like I'd come home, the house is a write off and I'm I don't even know what happened here. I wasn't even home, you know.
Yeah.
Like she was the type of person that didn't get up until 12 o'clock in the afternoon and didn't really have a care in the world for anything. She
Got
wasn't
you.
yeah, she was very she wouldn't even go grocery shopping. Like I grocery shopped. I did all of that. I was not the
So you were
st-
out working hard and taking on the role of taking care of the house and making sure you guys had everything you guys needed by
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, grocery shopping, everything. Like it didn't matter what it was. You know, we needed dog food. Well, you'll have to go get it because I can't drive and I don't have any money. So, you know, it was a livable situation, I thought, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, it
You
wasn't.
thought it was normal and fine.
That's right,
Yeah.
because it was such a long time that
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know any different. I was in
Well,
high school, you know,
and
like
also when it starts that young, you get comfortable too.
yeah,
So like everybody has that fear when you leave someone. You don't want to be alone, especially when you're getting like up there after high school and stuff. You want to settle down, you want to get comfortable, you want to build your life.
yeah,
And I find like a lot of people have a fear of being alone. They don't want to be alone for the rest of their life and they don't know if like as the insider of the problem if it's really a problem or if it's just how life is. Like
yeah.
it's different for everybody, but
And yeah, it is true because when you're in that type of relationship too, and you see other people around you saying, you know, this isn't a good situation, you don't see it
mm-mm.
because you're in it
Yeah.
and you don't have that concept. You think that, oh, this person has always been there for me.
Mm-hmm.
But really, were they? You know, really, were they there for you or were they just there?
Yeah,
You know, that
exactly.
was all that you kind of had, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So, you know, continuing on with how mine and Shelby's relationship kind of started was that I called her up and I said, "Listen, this is a huge ask. I don't know if you're willing to do it or not." And I, so I'll pause that story because beforehand, I ended up taking her to Bancroft to go get her G
Okay.
two
Yep.
and her. Well, we got our G's together now, but her G2 because she needed my car.
Okay.
So I took her out. This was before I lost my license. So I knew she had a license. So I was like, perfect person to ask. And I was very skeptical. I was like, I don't really know if she's going to do it or not, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I call her. I was like, this is huge. This is a big ask. Wondering if you'd be able to come live at my house for a little while so you could drive me to work and feel free to use my car for like what you need, right? Because she had a job too.
Yeah.
So it's not like so
it's not like she was going to drain your gas and not
exactly. Yeah, like but realize I didn't. I just put gas in it. I was like, I'm not letting you. You know, you're driving
She's
my
doing
car.
you a
You're
big
doing
favor.
me.
Yeah.
It's a huge favor because I don't have a license. So it's like use my car, do what you need, go home on the weekends, whatever. I don't care. You know, I was so skeptical, like I said, about asking. And not even 5 seconds later, she goes, "Yeah, still need to pack my bags. I'll be there in a minute." I went,
"Oh,
okay."
yeah."
Well, and I think right there struck a lot of, oh my gosh, this is a friend that you don't come across often.
Mm-hmm.
This is someone that you're gonna keep,
it's the unexpected too, especially going from someone like Karen who's unsupportive, unhelpful, and can't do those things, to have someone you just ask, you're not like good friends with them or anything, and they just say yeah, like instantly. There's no thought about it.
And you are right. At that time, me and Shelby were not really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
She was just always kind of there.
You're kind of
Karen,
associates,
right?
type deal.
We kind of knew each other. We weren't really, I don't know, we wouldn't sit down and just chat though. So to get, past that point, she drove me everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And groceries, to go get my oil change because I didn't want to do it. So I was too busy. It was too much. So I went when I went grocery shopping, we went and got my oil change and stuff. And that there really made my eyes go, oh my goodness. Like you can't find a better friend. And at that point in time, this has been months going on that we were driving together and she took me everywhere. She was going grocery shopping with me. She was doing this and that and everything else, coming home and cleaning my house when Karen is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the types I'd walk in the door from going out to do chores to feeding like the horses and stuff like that. Come back in and Shelby's doing the dishes.
Yeah.
And Karen's in the bedroom. So I went, this is strange, and I felt very nice being around her. Like it was kind of one of those things that you didn't want to see them leave.
Home felt a little more like home.
Yeah. The home that I was hell felt home when she was there. Mm-hmm. And every weekend, she wanted to go home to see her mom, which I don't blame her.
Yeah, she's very close to her mom.
And she wants to go home, just to her home, to get different clothes or whatever. So I said, go take my car. That's fine. I am totally okay with that. But it got to a point where I didn't want her to leave, I was like, listen, would you be able to stay one more night? Because I got to do this tomorrow.
Yeah, any excuse
to keep her there.
Yeah.
Because she was my home at that point. Still also not knowing that I felt the way I did for her. It's kind of like a blocked off situation because I went kind of gray after I got married. Yes. Because I didn't know that it was okay to say no. Yes. Like you can leave. It's okay. Like you have choices. I was stuck.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not kidding you. That's where it all started. That's how it all kind of flourished.
Yes. See, and a lot of people, I think it takes a lot of perspective too, because it's like for an outsider to look in on your guys' relationship and hear how it started, if they don't get all the details, like they're going to sit and think, wow, Shelby's that like asshole that stole her friend's husband type deal. But when you put it into perspective, it was nothing like that at all.
That's right.
Like, I'm sorry, but I know like Shelby's a person. She's my best friend, and she's nothing like Karen.
Yeah.
So I never understood why they were even friends.
I didn't understand it either.
Yeah, and it wasn't a jealousy thing. Like, I don't get jealous that she has other friends and stuff. Like, I know we're best friends. We're always there for each other. We can go weeks without talking to each other, and we're still the same when we start talking. Yeah, exactly.
It's no big deal.
But it always just confused me because she was always going there. And, well, it kind of explains it now. But honestly, at first I was saying to Brandon, I was like, why does she go there all the time? Like, why does she like her so much? I don't understand it. Yeah. And it's because they were complete opposites. Shelby has a heart, whereas, don't get me wrong, I didn't really know, I guess, Karen that great, but I knew of her very well in the stories. And she just seemed like an awful person. And even just by the stories and stuff, I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover or whatever, but when you hear that many consistent stories about somebody, you don't like, they're just not someone I need or want
The
in my
pages are
life.
starting to fill up.
Yeah, literally.
That-
Like, there's
you
no
know, there's
room
no-
for
yeah.
the official, okay? Like, yeah, it just, I don't know. It really surprised me. And then once I found out and got a message from her that you guys were together, I was like, this all makes fucking sense now. Like, this explains so much.
Yeah.
But I do remember when you guys first came down to see us, like to visit or whatever. I don't think I've ever seen her so happy. And it was weird because I've never seen Shelby in a relationship. She just never was. She didn't care what guys thought. Like, she just was like, fuck you guys, I don't care.
Yeah.
But to see her like with someone happy, and to see how like far you guys have come also and accomplished together, and like the goals you've set for each other, that's a lot. And it makes me very proud. And I'm proud that she's marrying someone like you. I'm glad she has someone like you that, you know, isn't at a point in their life where they're just stuck and don't have goals, and, you know, that's going to hold her down. You don't hold her down. You support her decisions, you help her, and you work together to go farther in life. And that's good. Like,
Yeah.
that's good goal setting. And I think you both are motivated enough that you can accomplish a lot more than you already have. And I think right now it's a lot of stress and stuff because the wedding's coming up so fast and there's just a lot going on. But after this wedding's done, I'm very excited to see what happens next. I really am, because it's going to be very interesting.
We always have something up our sleeve. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what.
Like, honestly, we see you guys a couple days in a row, and all of a sudden you come over and you guys are like, oh, we're doing this. And it's like, when did this happen? Like, when was this planned? But no, it's great. It's great. Did you have a drink yet?
Mine's done.
Oh my God, do you want to mix another one?
Yeah,
quick?
sure.
Yeah, go mix another one. I've been
You're like,
sipping.
wait,
I'm like,
what?
what the fuck are you not drinking?
This orange juice sucks. Oh my God. Like,
Remember where to go next time to look for some. Now that you had a drink refill and these amazing mimosas, honest opinion of them?
Honestly, they taste like orange juice. That's about it. I don't really taste much else, but kind of on the sour side of orange juice, you know? Or maybe it's just the orange juice I caught.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not a drink I would choose to have all the time, but just every once in a while, like, it wouldn't be too bad.
Not too
It
bad.
also kind of tastes like something that, you know, you're not going to know it hit until it hits, and it's kind of scary.
And it's a nice afternoon drink, I find, too.
Yeah, it's
Nice
light.
summer
It's not like
afternoon.
it's heavy or burns or, yeah, it's nice. So what would you say the biggest lesson learned was from the first marriage?
The first marriage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what would you want to do differently this time? Like, anything that you did that you feel like you could have done differently? Even though it seems like not to be horrible, but it's kind of all her problem. But anyways.
Yeah, but, well, the thing is, though, yes, in many scenarios it was, but at the same time, I don't know if I handled them properly. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I was old enough or grown enough to understand that you have to handle things in a certain way. You can't just, you know, lash out on something that you don't really know the root of the issue.
Yeah.
You know? So what I have learned, well, I mean, I guess for the first marriage, like, when it comes down to it, it seems like it was so long ago, and it's so hard to remember some pieces of it because I really don't know if I was 100% there all the time. I would be standing right there, and I wouldn't really know what was going on because it just felt like,
it kind of felt more or less you were kind of outside your body watching from the outside.
That's kind of what it was like. There isn't really anything that I would do differently other than the person, of course.
Yes.
But what I can say is that marriage is one of those things that when you know, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, whereas with Shelby, I know me and her have that connection, and it's something that can't be broken. And I never had that with someone else. So, yeah, it may have been a mistake, but it also probably wouldn't have led us to here, me and Shelby. You know,
it was also a big life lesson too, though, because now you can sit and look at you and Shelby and realize these things that weren't normal the first time.
Yeah.
Then, like, it helps you know, like, this time.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, before, like you said, you thought you knew, but you really didn't.
Yeah.
And, you know, it honestly kind of benefits you and Shelby a little bit too, because I think that built you guys so much closer, especially because she was so supportive when all this was going on and stuff. And, you know, it honestly kind of built the foundation of your guys' relationship. And I don't think you could build a stronger one with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you went into a supermarket and seen her and fell in love. You literally, it was built
Well,
over.
and I'll put it into perspective too. For how long she was driving me, it was 9 months.
Okay.
There was
I
nine
didn't realize it
months
was
of
that
time.
long.
Yeah, 9 months of her living at my house every day, 24/7, seeing her, and something clicked. It
Mm-hmm.
was like you said before. It was like home, that's really what it was. Because after 9 months, like we're almost hitting a year of just being friends, and we truly were just friends. But now looking back, I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
knew, but I didn't know how to go about it.
You were married,
Yeah, I was
and you couldn't
married,
do
and
anything about that.
I am huge when it comes to trust and loyalty and things like that. And when this fell into play, I didn't know how to grab it by the horns and run with it, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm the type of person that will just, do what I need to do, and that's that. But this was a real touchy situation that I had never been in before.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back at it, yeah, I did love her before, but I didn't know how to handle that,
Yeah.
And she also I don't think she knew either.
No.
Well, I'm her first boyfriend, and kind of when you have that feeling, it's kind of hard to just push away. There's
Yeah.
been so many times where I just was like, "Oh, it's nothing. We're just really good friends."
Yeah.
And then something would come on the radio, and I go, "Oh, I thought of her." Or I'd, be upset that she wasn't there one night, and her song come over on the stereo system in the house, and I would send her a Snapchat, and I was like, I wish you were here. Things like
Aww.
that I didn't really realize I was in, like, active love for her, but I couldn't show it because, again, I'm loyal and I'm not like that. We would not.
You were really in a tough situation, to be honest. Because even if, like, even in a marriage, if there is no love or anything there anymore, like, if it's just broken, it's still hard to leave, and a divorce is hard to go through. Like, I've never been through a divorce personally, but like from listening to all the things that you went through to have it done and official, and like, even after when you and Shelby were first like officially together, and she was still like, she'd message Shelby every once in a while and blah blah blah. And, like, that was a lot. Like, that was, she was really pushing buttons that she didn't have to.
Yeah.
And I think it was more or less she was trying to pry to see, because I don't think she realized how good she had it on the marriage side, because you did everything and
Yeah.
she literally just got to sit there and do nothing. So, yeah, I think that you were in a really tough situation, but I think the way you guys handled it, it went really well. I think, trying to give Karen the like benefit of the doubt type deal and trying to let her still be like in touch was a nice gesture at first, but I definitely knew, like, I kind of figured it was something that wasn't going to end up working out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's one of those people, she'll pry and she'll, and yeah, I think it's good that that is like in the past. It's done, it's gone. And I think it also helped you guys, get closer and move on a little bit, because there wasn't that extra stress happening in the background. And yeah.
And until you're truly away from it all, you don't heal.
No.
When you're in it all the time, and you go, like, example, I had to go pick up my license and stuff like that, and this was about a month from when I moved out of my home.
Okay.
I went to go get my driver's license because I just got it. I Keep in mind, I still did not have my driver's license because it was 9 months of the time, but I still had to go through all the paperwork stuff. So it was about 3 months after that I got my
Okay.
license. Okay, so Shelby was still driving,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm living at her house now, and me and Karen were split up. And when she drove me to the house, I walk in the door, and it's like I'm home again.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just the house. But being there for so long, you go in and go, why is that moved, or what is it? And this was only a month in,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize how difficult it was to go there and just be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want anything to do with her,
Yeah.
but Shelby did at the time, and I still had to
Shelby
go
was
pick
trying
up.
to do what she thought was the best thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right, and that's what I mean. I love that about her,
She has a
because
big
that's what
heart.
she's like.
Yeah.
She's very she wants to see everything from one perspective, like from many people's
Yeah.
perspective.
She
but
puts everybody
not...
else before herself a lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah, a
agree.
lot.
I agree.
But that's why I'm glad she has you, because you kind of make sure she's taking care of herself also. Like,
Yeah.
you make sure there's nothing going on with her, and
Yeah.
because she cares about everybody else so much compared to like herself, it's nice for her to have somebody that cares so much about her, that can like see things and like help her and be
Yeah.
there for her.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but the thing really is that after a while, I said, you know what, this isn't healthy. And she said it to me as well. She goes, this isn't healthy for
Mhm.
us. And it wasn't doing anything to us, but we just knew that it was almost like she was she was like a flea, and you couldn't
Yeah.
get rid of it,
Yeah, they
and it was
multiply.
always... Yeah, they multiply, and it's like it always just gets worse. So why not cut off the bad fruit here and continue on flourish of what we have? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was at. So like, yeah, if anybody's in a relationship that's really that bad, you gotta cut it off completely. You can't keep going. There's no... You can't, because you can't heal.
Yeah.
So,
and as much as you think it's just going to get better, it doesn't.
That's
Like,
right.
it just doesn't.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's a good perspective to put it in. Because, it's really common for like women and stuff to talk about like abusive relationships they've been in and stuff, but not a lot of men will come out and talk about it, or like not a lot of men feel comfortable talking about it, because it makes them think that other people look at them as weak, but it's not. Like, the hardest and toughest part is walking away and getting out of it. And I strongly think if you can do that and like, talk about it, then I think that makes you 10 times stronger.
Yeah.
Because it is difficult.
I will be honest, I had a hard time talking about it for a very long time. But, well, Shelby was the one that opened that up and went, listen, that's okay. It's not your fault. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you, a loser. Nothing, none of that. She's like, it's a good thing that you were able to leave. Like, you were able to cut that off. Because it grabs a hold of you, and it's like a drug almost, because it's almost like you can't get rid of it. And no matter how much you want to, it just never seems like there's an out. You couldn't really, and Shelby wasn't an out, but it all ended up in a way of, oh my God, this woman is, she just stole my heart long before, and I had no clue. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I look back at it, I go, oh my gosh, there's so many signs,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
it makes you kind of feel dumb, but at the same time, it is what it is.
But you're happy it worked out the way it did.
That's right.
It kind of worked out the way it should have.
Yeah, things fell into place, and I wondered why it was happening like that. And well, sure enough, here we are today.
Yeah,
and we're only 24 days away from our wedding.
Seriously,
so
I think it might be a couple days less than that now. Like, it's been real.
23. It was 24 yesterday.
Yeah. So there we go.
Me and Shelby, we're counting it down like a Christmas calendar.
Yeah. It's exciting though to go into like one marriage that you thought was okay but wasn't, and then to go into one that you're so ready for and that you want so badly. Like, it is a different feeling, and it is crazy. But I have to ask, so your parents, okay? So your parents were obviously around for the first marriage, and they're around for the second. So let's start with, what did they think about the first marriage when you were getting married to Karen?
Funny thing. So Karen was not liked at all.
Okay.
Karen was...
Does that surprise me? No.
No, and it never surprised me. Not when I was in the relationship, but after that, I was like, I see it. I see it 100%. I know why now.
Yeah. You couldn't blame them.
My grandparents, aunts and uncles, mom and dad, like everybody, the sisters, everybody could not care less if she was there, and I couldn't understand why. I didn't get it at the time. Whereas now it's like, oh my gosh. So mom and dad, they tried to warn me way before. And when I called, I called to let them know that this was happening, because it's almost like it was a spur of the moment thing when it really shouldn't have been, that's kind of how it went. It was kind of a forced thing. So when I called them to tell them that we got engaged and we're going to get married, they kind of laughed, which at the time hurt, because I was like, are you kidding? What the heck?
Yeah, then, you just wanted them to be supportive.
Yeah, I wanted them to be there and thought that they'd be happy. I watched my sisters get married, so I was like, now your son's going to get married, so is that cool? Like, so it wasn't. That's to put it in the nicest way possible. But I will tell you, they were there, and they were supportive, but
Yeah.
not in the way that, every parent would be if they were
Yes.
happy about it, right?
Yes.
But they were there, and that's all that kind of mattered to me. At the time, like I said, I was so fuzzy because
Mhm.
everything was constant. Like, it was never an ending situation. So I just kind of ended up learning to be, I guess you'd so call it, numb.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But with mom and dad, they showed up. Aunts and uncles, everybody else, they showed up as well. They were not fond
Mhm.
at all. So when I told them that we had split up, wow, were they ever happy?
I bet. I
They were
bet.
so happy to the point they were like, "Oh my goodness! So you can come home, you can live
Yeah.
back home again. You know, you can
Come
come
back.
back around.
Opening arms. Let's
Yeah,
go.
like, come on, don't worry, I'll come pick up all your stuff." Like, they were
Yeah.
so happy, right? So, but when I told them I was with Shelby,
Now,
they
did they know Shelby at all?
yes, and
Yes.
that's a really, important thing when it comes down to it. They knew exactly who I was going out with at that
Okay.
point, and they went, "Oh my gosh, she's such a sweet girl. That is so good. I'm so glad you found somebody that's really sweet." And they just love her. They do.
That's
They love
awesome.
her. Yeah, and my sisters love her. My sister actually used to go to her mom's place quite a bit to
Okay.
visit. So yeah, like my sister knows Shelby's aunt.
Okay.
So that also. Courtney was like, oh, shit. I guess it doesn't really
Yeah, it
matter.
doesn't matter.
Anyway, so she had said, she went, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you found somebody." She's like, "She's a sweetheart."
Amber alert.
What the heck? Yup.
Okay. We gotta watch if mine goes off. Anyways, so your sister.
So yes, so my sister, she was cutting my hair one day, and I said, "I have some news to tell you," and she goes, What's going on?" I said, "I left," and she was like, "Really? Oh my gosh!" And she goes, Where are you going now?" I said, "Well, I'm going to live with Shelby." And she goes, "Shelby?" It's like, "Yeah, me and Shelby are together." And she goes, "Oh my gosh!" She
Yeah,
just
the
loved it. She
excitement.
just
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah. So everybody kind of um, understood what was happening at that point. And again, like I said, they couldn't ask for any better because I'm happy. They see the difference in me. They can see what a good person she is. And when it comes down to a relationship, the parents and the family, they can tell you if they're a good person way
Yeah.
before you even
And
know.
it also is so much easier to see from an outsider than it is yourself. Like, to
Yeah.
be in the situation yourself, you can't see a lot of things that the outsiders can and can point out and give you advice on and stuff. So, yeah, I think that's important, and that's like a good, thing that they were also supportive and happy about it, because that just says a lot about like Shelby in general. Um,
Oh yeah, talk about my grandma. Oh my gosh, she just
yeah,
loves her.
yeah.
She
I was
just
about to say
see.
you're pretty close with your grandparents too. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
my grandma. I got to shout out to her because she's amazing. She's the best woman ever. Like, I don't know where I'd be without her. And
yeah.
same with my grandfather. He's phenomenal. So when Shelby started coming around, my grandma, she loved her already. She didn't even think twice, right? Now, oh my goodness, every single time I'm on the phone with her, she goes, "Okay, love you, honey," and then she goes, "Tell Shelby I love her too." Every
Aw,
time, and then Shelby
yeah,
will say it back. She goes, "Oh," like, she
yeah.
gets so happy, and she just hugs and kisses her every single time she's there. She
Aw,
just loves her, and she always thinks about her too. And that's what I think is a huge part. If my grandma's thinking about her, what type of person is that?
yeah.
Phenomenal person.
Hmm.
Like, Shelby, I couldn't ask for any better than Shelby. Like, Shelby is everything put into one
Yeah.
package, and it's
And
phenomenal.
it means a lot to Shelby too, because like she is really close with her mom. Like, her
Yeah,
mom's awesome. I love Shelby's mom. But as far as her father, I'm not gonna mention names, goes, like,
yeah,
that support's not there.
yeah.
And like, I'm not saying it's his whole side of the family or whatever, but I'm saying him in general, like, he's not there for her the way she should have him.
Yeah.
And to, a daughter, that's a lot. Like, a father-daughter relationship is a bit different. But Shelby, she just has that relationship with her mom instead.
Hmm.
And her
Her
mom's
mom,
always been the one there, and her
yeah,
mom's
her mom's
awesome.
both. Like,
Yeah, she
mom
scares
and dad.
the shit out
It's
of me, but she's cool. I love her. She's awesome. She's just blunt. She speaks her opinion, gives you, like, her opinion. She doesn't care what you think. She just letting you know. But that's one thing she's always made sure, is that Shelby and like her brother and stuff were always taken care of. They
oh yeah,
were, always happy, always had what they needed, wanted, and I think that's why Shelby's always there with her mom and stuff too, is because she shows a lot of appreciation and wants her mom to know like she appreciates having all that growing up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy on her mom either, but look at where they are.
Well,
They're great.
that's yeah, no, and to speak about her mom, like really, like she's probably the best mother-in-law. I couldn't ask for any more.
Yeah.
She's great. Um,
You
I
lucked
was
out.
scared. Yeah, yeah, she's awesome. I was scared in the beginning for sure.
Mhm.
Moving in, I didn't know what to think. I knew her mom in a different way. I didn't know her as a mother-in-law.
Yeah.
I knew her as she drops Shelby off, she blares her music and leaves.
Yeah.
You know,
She
I
always got her
I knew
speakers pumping.
her mom like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of, to put it into perspective. Now we've gotten a lot closer.
Yes.
But I will never say that I'm not scared of her, because
Yeah.
I will always be scared of her.
She is super scary. I remember there was only one fight me and Shelby ever got into. And it wasn't even our fault. It was just people saying stuff to me, and then I was just like, oh, well, then fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
but that fight lasted a little while. And then I just came to the point where I'm like, why the fuck are we even bothering to fight right now? Like, we're best friends. She's helped me through everything. Like, I've been there for her. And honestly, it wasn't really fair for me because I was kind of being childish and like she wasn't seeing the kids and stuff. Well, we only had Owen at the time, but I kind of said to Brandon, I said, I feel really bad. Like, I'm kind of a shitty person because, like, Owen really loved her too. He knew exactly who she was. So, that was a lot too. And yeah, like I said, we started hanging out again. I told her to come over. She came over. We were just great. It was fine. It was like a fight never happened.
That's really good.
Yeah, I guess that's how me and Shelby have always been though. Like, we've never really fought. We get like irritated with each other sometimes, don't get me wrong. Like, if we're hanging out like every day, then like, we'll get a little bit of space for a couple days or whatever. But I feel like everybody needs that when you're an adult. Like, it's just, especially when you're like, you guys don't have like kids and stuff. We have kids, and like, our lives are the same but a little bit different, and it gets to be a lot sometimes. And I think the space is important, but to know that you guys are always still there is another thing. So, yeah, it is really nice though. I love our little 4-person group. It's great.
It is, because we all kind of have, like I said, we're all common but not all at the same time.
Yeah.
It makes for a good conversation all the time. Like, we're never not talking. Either it's me and Brandon, or you and me, or Shelby and Brandon, and Shelby or you, or we can always kind of, no matter who it is, we can all still talk to each other.
And then when we hang out, we're not bored too. Like, it's not just us girls watching you guys like talk about cars and stuff or whatever. Like, we all bounce off each other, and it keeps it social, it keeps it exciting, it keeps it like entertaining. It's not boring.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when you go to hang out with people and you just stand there because you have nothing to talk about with them, and it's like, for fuck's sake, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I'm sick of twiddling my fingers. My fingernails are like gone. Like, I just want to go home.
Yeah. Some friendships are like that, but at the same time, I guess it's all what you take out of a friendship. But at the same time, when you get a connection between people, that you can't really break it, know. And like you said, being there for each other all the time, that's a huge part too.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. So now to talk a little bit like post-wedding, for after the wedding, have you guys talked about any like goals you have, like what you want to do next with each other, like whether it's, anything?
Yeah, we've had a few conversations about it. The first, is it a little stronger this time?
This one was a little
I thought
stronger.
I mixed them a little too strong.
Holy, okay.
I know. Yeah, well, we're in for it. So, oh boy. All right. So,
it is 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's right. I looked at the time. Okay, well, we'll be fine. We only got a half a thing of orange juice left, so might as well use it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, it's good. Oh yeah, right. It's because you bought the wrong orange juice.
Yeah, it's Tetra Packs is a real orange juice, or whatever. Jeepers. So, well, one big thing that we can't stop talking about is we want to have kids.
Yes.
So that is a huge, huge goal when it comes down to getting married and stuff. And we both wanted to be married first before going and...
Oh, that's so traditional.
Yeah,
I did everything backwards.
Hey, that's okay. Things work out the way, they're supposed to for a reason. And I think that very strongly. It just so happens to be that we're able to make this work. sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
we're coming up close to the wedding, so it's not like anytime soon. We're
It's not like you
it's
guys are
not.
having kids next month. Like it's
Yeah,
not in the works
exactly.
already. It's just being talked about.
Yeah, we're just talking about it and kind of floating the idea around, and we really think it'd be a good idea to do so after the wedding, so that we're kind of in a position that we know each other at the fullest already, but you learn things about each other every single day. So that's another big thing too. Is it's like, okay, once we get married, we'll take a couple years, and then we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
If it takes a year or if it takes two, who knows? It'll just happen when it happens. So the biggest, another big goal that we have is we want to build a house. We
Yes.
want to actually build something of our own, like our own, make it the way we want it. I mean, in this day and age, it's really difficult to do so, but I think we'll get there.
Yeah.
If we can do anything, we can do it.
I think you both, like I said, you both have really good goal setting. You both keep each other moving forward instead of keeping each other back. I think that's something that's really important. But also, just in knowing that, I think when you guys set your minds to something, especially together, it's going to get done. Whether it's 5 years from now, whether it's 10 years from now, it's going to be something like, obviously building a house is something that's going to take a bit longer.
Yeah.
But I think something you guys also have to remember is it's not going to never happen, and you can't think that way either, because it's going to damper the process a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely know that that's been talked about and everything, and that's a goal you guys have. And even like, don't get discouraged, even if it's something where you guys find something affordable that you guys can buy that's like within the budget you're thinking about. And even if you start there, and that could be something you rent out later to bring in some extra money to keep your guys like afloat from building a house. And I think that's really important too. I think that's two really big goals, like kids and wanting to build a house. I'm gonna say they're both financially a lot, but that's also, the house is something you can also look forward to when you guys have kids, to have something for your kids too, right?
A sustainable home that can't be broken when you have kids, and that's a big part too. Like my childhood was fantastic, and then not a lot of kids get that. So I want to make sure that my kid has that too.
Yeah, you want your child to have stability and not to have to worry. And
me growing up, I had one farmhouse the whole time. One house, one farm home my whole life. There was no moving and trying to figure out how to pay bills and things like that. My parents were always very good with that. They didn't say anything, about how much money they had to spend for this or that, or we didn't know that as kids. We just thought we were lucky and, had all the money in the world.
Good life.
Yeah. And as a kid, you look at it and it's like, oh my gosh. As an adult now, I go, they struggled hard, but they didn't say anything about it.
They did not put that burden on you guys, no.
No, they just continued on, did what they needed to do, and that's how life was. So I would love to give that to my kid, give that back to my kid, and say, listen, like this, you don't have to worry about anything. You're good. You got a home. You'll always have a home. So that's two of our huge goals. But as far as that goes, they're gonna take a long time to get to. So they're
definitely future goals.
Definitely a future goal.
But I think that's good. I think you guys don't have just like, I think it's good to have little short-term goals. Like that's important, obviously. But I definitely think looking further in the future, it's important, because then you give yourself so much time to work up to that. And if it happens earlier than you wanted it to, great. Yeah. But like, it's always best to give yourself that extra time, so you're not feeling like discouraged or anything if you get closer to and it's not, happening.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's fantastic. I'm really excited because, like, I'm an aunt. Don't get me wrong. I have, like, my nephew. But to be an aunt to kids that aren't actually, like, my blood sisters, it's going to be so fun. Like, it's so fun. I always sit and say, like, I like those posts, whatever you see, where it's, like Shelby sends them to me all the time, where it's, like, that she's not, like, the blood aunt, but she's the aunt and stuff. And, like, she is. The kids love you guys. Like, they really do. And they get really excited when you guys pull in to come visit, or like, the McDonald's dates, ice cream dates, like they love that stuff. And I think it's important because you guys will always be consistent people in my kids' lives. You guys will always be there. I don't have to worry about you guys up and leaving one day and like never coming back to see them, or you guys don't make promises to them you guys can't keep either. Like, you guys don't promise them. When you say you're going to take them out for McDonald's, you guys say, like, you have to be good and listen, and like, we'll surprise you and take you out. You don't plan a day, because that's something that bugs me, when people plan a day with my kids, say they're going to do something, and they never show up, because my kids aren't stupid. They know what's going on. They are expecting it, and a no-show. Like, come on, it breaks their hearts. Yeah. So that's a little frustrating. But no, I definitely think those are great goals. Now I wanted to do a really short little game. Okay.
Alright.
So we're playing bride or groom. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna say the question, and I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and then we are both gonna say who we think.
Okay.
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 So I'll have a little bit of leeway because I'm just the maid of honor, so I'm not like the bride or groom. But you, yeah, you just watch what you say. She might listen. Okay. The first question is, who is more stubborn? I feel like this one's very easy for me to answer. So, 1, 2, 3. Shelby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She is. She's a lot like Brandon. They're both very stubborn. Like very, very stubborn. Okay. Well, I'm glad we could agree on that one. I guess we'll both be uninvited to the wedding.
But I mean, if she was on here, she'd say the same thing about me. So it's hard to say,
Yeah.
Like, I could be stubborn just as much as she is, but at the same time, I can't see it. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I could definitely see you both being stubborn in your own ways, but from like what I see and stuff, I definitely think Shelby is the more stubborn one. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. Like it's not bad. I'm just saying that's just is what I noticed. That she's definitely the stubborn one. I have a lot more leeway. I'm like flexible that way, whereas like no, just no. Okay, who is the bigger spender? We do have to be careful how we answer this one because okay, I'll dive into that after with my answer. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Shelby.
Casper. I am saying Casper because when I think of Shelby, Shelby does make big financial decisions, okay? Like her four-wheeler, her car, like you know what I mean? She does. But she has them on like, payments, like she can afford them. She stretches it out. It's not one big, huge financial decision that affects her right there that day.
Yes.
So
I do agree with that.
Mind you, I don't know what your spending's like. I really don't. But if I had to assume, I was just going to assume you.
So yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from because I'm the one that does, the spontaneous stuff or whatever. Like if I'm gonna like say for instance me and her, I go, let's go out for dinner.
Yeah.
I'll get it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm that type of person.
The bar night. The fucking bar night.
I'm like, here, sure.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, and I don't know why, but at the same time, whereas Shelby, she's a big spender, but she's able to handle it, if you know what I mean. Like, she's able to go, oh, okay, well, I can use that, and I'll be totally fine.
Yeah,
there's no
she's
big deal.
really good at budgeting. She really is. Like,
yeah.
I think she could probably do budget plans for people and make money that way, to be honest. Like, she actually does really good. I am very proud of her. If I tried to make the financial decisions she does, I wouldn't even get there, actually, because I get money, and I'm like, shopping! Like, let's go! I'm so excited! Like, financially, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very unstable that way. But I don't regret any money I spend. Like, it all goes towards like kids or fun or spontaneous things. It is good.
I was just agreeing because the fact is I'm kind of the same way in that way. I'll spend the money, but at the same time, it's always going somewhere that is useful and we either need it or sometimes it's just nice to go for dinner too. Like at the same, and
I feel like you have to be able to spend money stupidly to stay sane.
Yeah.
Like if it all goes towards groceries, bills, and stuff, that I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of people have to live that way, but it's a really shitty way to live, and that's why a lot of people like run into mental health issues and stuff is because you have to live. You have to live a little. Yeah. Financial problems is scary and stuff. But, like, how me and Brandon always say is we always figure it out. Yeah. Like, one way or another, we always figure it out, so.
Yeah, and we also do the same thing. When it comes down to it, we both always go, we'll figure it out. It doesn't matter what happens, we'll still figure it out.
Enjoy the moment, because later on, when it becomes a problem, it will get figured out.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's kind of funny. So, who is more likely to survive on a deserted island? Ready for this? 1, 2, 3. Me. Shelby. Really? A disagreement. Oh my god. Okay.
Actually, I actually have to change my answer. I do. Reason being is when I lived where I lived before, I was trying to get this fire going for, I'm not kidding you, probably 15 to 20 minutes. I just was not having any luck. And I'm not bad at starting fires, but for some reason, this one just wasn't. No, she gets in there, lights it within a second.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was so mad. And we were not together at that point. And I was like, how did you just do that? And I was so pissy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta change my answer. Because if I can't start a damn fire, then obviously I'm not gonna.
I feel like she'd be deserted for a week. Someone would go to come pick her up and she'd be like, no, I want to stay. Like, it's so peaceful. Just leave me here. Like, I'm fine. I'll survive.
There's no people. I'm not a people-y person anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I definitely think she would be perfectly fine on a deserted island. Most definitely.
Oh, jeepers.
Okay, this one should be interesting because I don't even know how to answer this. I'm just going to guess this one.
Okay.
Okay. Who is the better cook? 1, 2, 3, Casper.
Shelby.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I know Shelby can make a killer grilled cheese. Like, every time she come visit us, I know it's just a grilled cheese, but every time she come visit, we'd be like, can you please make us grilled cheese? Like, you make the best, and she does. She makes the best fucking grilled cheeses.
For some reason, it's awesome. She spreads butter on perfectly, and, you know, it's nice and crispy, and it's not too light on one side, too dark on the other. It's completely perfect.
Yeah.
Cheese
I was guessing you because I feel like every time I call her when it's late or whatever, she's like, oh, Casper's cooking. And it's like,
I mean,
he's always cooking.
I do cook a lot, but I will say, when she cooks, it's too good.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I feel like that's half the thing, because sometimes she makes things that she doesn't even like. Like, example, lemon squares for like Christmas time.
Yeah.
She'll make those. I love them. And
she was baking a lot
fudge
around Christmas this year that just passed.
Yeah, like the Bailey's fudge and stuff like that too. Like, she makes all this stuff. She doesn't like it and she doesn't eat it. I test it all, and I'm not kidding. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Like,
what is it? The haystacks?
Yeah, she does those too.
I love those. They're so good.
Yeah.
Bad for my teeth, but they're fucking delicious.
I know. That's the worst part. She's got someone that's got rotten teeth, and I'm like, how?
But you have bad sweet teeth.
Yeah, I can't help
test it all.
I can't help it. And then when she like cooks chicken and stuff like that, it's perfectly cooked. I dry it right out.
Yeah,
Same with
it's
steaks,
hard.
burgers, anything like that. I dry it right the hell out.
I think my problem with that is I wanted to cook faster. Like, I'm impatient. So like when I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, like, turn the heat up, let's go. Like, yeah, it gets so frustrating, especially when the kids are barking like I'm hungry, and it's like I'm trying the best I can. Like, you could get salmonella poisoning if I just stop now, so I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, I was going to assume you because you're always cooking, but I could see that. I could definitely see Shelby being the better cook.
I mean, I'm good at. I know, right? Like, stuff like that. Like, she's super good at making that. And which grilled cheese is not that hard, but at the same time, when you cook it yourself, it never turns out right.
No.
For some
my
reason.
problem is always fucking burn mine.
Yeah,
because I'm worried about like the kids and Brandon's. Then I get to mine, I'm like, that's fucking black. It's like charcoal. I still gotta eat it though.
Yeah.
Like, I ran out of cheese slices, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, I strongly agree that her cooking is a lot more. Like, it's just more flavorful or something like that. Whereas me, I'm kind of a dull person, really. Like, I like everything. Yeah. But I'm a dull cooker.
Yeah.
And she noticed that. A couple years in, she was like, your chicken is dry.
Yeah.
Dry.
That's Brian's big problem. He likes it when I make, like, the steak bites in the slow cooker.
Yeah.
But if I make chicken or, like, burgers or whatever on the barbecue, he'll eat them. He's like, a little dry. I'm like, sorry. Like, I didn't mean to. I don't know what happened to the juices. They just
they just left.
They evaporated. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. That's game over. That's very informative. But I need to ask you.
Every one of them was different.
I know.
Every one of our answers.
I feel like you have a bit of a cheating side because you're in a relationship. You're the groom. That's not fair. But anyways, I want to talk about something. So we talked about the wedding. We talked about a little bit about goals after the wedding. But one thing we haven't talked about is the honeymoon plans after the wedding. I'm fucking pissed. Okay, I'm so jealous. It is going to be so great. Not even going to be there. But let's just tell everyone what the plans are.
Well, who are we going to see?
Jesse fucking Murph. Okay, you're going to see Jesse fucking Murph. Okay, I'm not pissed at you guys. I'm more pissed that I'm not financially stable enough to go.
Hey,
it's depressing.
You know what? This is our very first concert. We've never been. And this is quite huge. When I had seen it, I had sent it immediately to you because I know you love her.
Yeah, I do.
And then I sent Shelby seen it as well online, and she goes, "Oh my gosh!" And I said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to send it to you." And I didn't really think, right? Yeah. I know you. Well,
Shelby doesn't really talk about like artists and stuff as much, right? And then me, I'm like Jesse Murph.
Yeah, and you really like her, and so I was like, "Well, did you want to go?" And it was a pre-sale. So you have to be on it quick to be
Yeah.
able to get into it. And she did it all. I wouldn't have known the first thing to do.
No.
I don't even know how
And
to.
panic would have set in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, I ain't doing it then. You know, you got 15 minutes to get in there and that's done, you
Yeah.
know? And so she calls me and she did say, she goes, I really want to go. And I said, all right, let's go. That's fine. You know, I'm good with it. We'll get a hotel. We'll go spend the night, Saturday night or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'll just come home on Sunday. It's
Yeah.
no big deal. And so, here we are, we're mapping it all out. And she's like, I gotta get this in in 5 minutes or else it's gonna time out.
It does
She
time out
missed the
really quick.
timeout. It timed out. Okay. But it must have timed out on someone else and we got better seats. Yeah, so it
That's
worked
exciting.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
We were okay.
I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it, especially for your first concert. Like I've seen a lot of videos like on TikTok and stuff of her at her concerts, and she's just so sweet. I think that's why I love her, because even though she's famous, she's such a sweet person. She connects with everybody in like the crowd and stuff, and she's fucking beautiful. I love her. Like, and if I have to be honest, that's a girl crush, okay? 'Cause she is gorgeous. I love her, but yeah. What did I say to you guys? Even though it's your guys' honeymoon, make sure you think of me.
Yes.
Send me lots of videos.
Yes.
Don't forget about me. Yeah.
Don't forget.
I'll put your phone on FaceTime. Throw it at her face. Make sure she answers. Hello.
I'll take an old phone and just whip it up at her and get a picture at least of
You have to.
something.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's gonna be fantastic.
It will be, and you know, we didn't really have anything planned for our honeymoon, anyways, because just everything going on all at once. We thought, you know what, we'll just wait. We'll just do something later. It's no big deal.
Don't rush it.
Yeah, we weren't rushing it, and then all of a sudden this come up, and we both kind of went, sure,
Yeah.
let's do that, you know, because it'd be all right for us to get out. Like you said, it's our first. Like I said, it was our first concert ever, so we thought, what better of an idea to just kind of add it into
Well,
our
exactly.
honeymoon,
You guys
you
get
know?
to
Like,
stay at like a different place. You're not going back home. You're staying at like a hotel or whatever.
yeah.
You guys are gonna be up in Toronto. And you get to see Jesse fucking Murphy in concert.
I know,
so
that's pretty
really,
cool.
what kind of fucking, that is a great honeymoon.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's awesome.
I mean, like, personally, I didn't really know much about her until, well, I mean, Shelby, she listens to her all the time, though, which I never really realized.
Yeah.
And then every other song is like, Jesse Murph. And I didn't realize that she was so into it, you know, and so we just decided that we're gonna go. And I mean, I like her now too, because I listen and I go, oh my gosh, I've heard this
Her
song before.
new song is so good.
Yeah,
With
fair.
those strips. It's so catchy. It's so fun. Like, it's fucking popular on TikTok. You can't scroll 3 videos without seeing it. Like,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. Sounds good in her car. That's what
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah.
say.
Oh, yes. She's just like her mama with her boombox. Yeah.
My goodness.
No, I think that's going to be great. I'm really excited. The wedding's coming up fast. Yeah, there's a lot of exciting shit coming up.
There is, and it's very quick. You blink, and 5 days have went by, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's
So,
crazy. It
yeah.
is super crazy. All right, cheers, Casper, to my first guest on a podcast, your first podcast episode you got to be featured on, and it was fun. We got a lot talked about, and yeah, I'm really excited.
It was really good. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Dirt fam, don't forget to turn on notifications so that you don't miss next week's episode. And I'm not sure who will be our next guest. Maybe we'll have me, you, Brandon, and Shelby. That could be fun.
That would be interesting.
That would probably, yeah. I need some more mics up in here.
Oh boy. I can only imagine what that's gonna end
Yeah,
up like.
seriously. Okay, Dirt fam. Until next time.